in the things that are outside because it's easy. Thank you, the Most High God, for this day. I pray that He accepts all the things that we've done here so far. And as you're standing, I'm going to call the teacher of the morning, even the leader of this congregation, D.C.B, as I call before you, Nasik Yeriel, Chief Prince Yeriel, Ben Issachar. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
First and foremost, we give all praises, all honor, and all respect to the Creator of heaven and earth, the God of our fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we say to the whole congregation, to our family online, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat. Yeah. And this stuff here is real that we talk about. You know, we talk about different things. We talk about these devices and all of these things, and it's crazy. I mean, it's like a drug.
Yeah.
You know, you get hooked. You get hooked at an early age. Listen, I was just coming here this morning. My grandson over there said, "Oh, you know, he had a panic." Stop. What happened? I forgot my phone. I said, "Man, I'm already almost late to the camp. I forgot my phone." Yeah, man, we got books, we got all that here. But yeah, and coming up here also is no light thing. I don't care how many times you said you did it, how many years you've been doing this. As Morey was speaking, I was back there pacing the floor like I'm getting ready to fight Tyson or somebody. I'm like, oh man, he just holding me out, man. Bring me out, but I don't really want to, I ain't rushing. Take your time, but let me out so I can get through this. But it's a real thing about fear, And as I've been doing some reading lately, I've been reading a lot of the Psalms and a lot of the stuff it tell you about fear in the Most High, first and foremost. Right. It talk about fear of your parents, the fear of just doing that which is wrong, Right. And, like Morey can attest to, like when you're dealing with certain jobs, it's say with electricity, it's don't fear it but respect it. Right. And that's the same thing we got. We have to respect the Most High. We have to respect what He can do for us and to us.
That's right.
We have to respect our parents and what they do for us throughout our whole lives.
Amen.
It's a lot of things that we got to respect. But I don't want us to get being fearful. I don't want you to get that mixed up with being afraid. Because those are kind of two different things. Because when I look at fearful, I look at before the act. You fearful with just knowing what this God can do for you, what He does do for you, and you fear to do wrong.
Right.
Chief Michael feared to go into that theater and do that play, although he could have got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But once he started reading the play and see idols is involved, this is involved, right. He feared doing that thing. It's a play.
Right. That's right.
Anybody would say it's a play. God knows my heart. But no, some things you can't play with.
That's right.
You got to just turn it down.
Turn that down.
But it's a difference when you fear something and then you're afraid of something. Because people get afraid when they know this great God and you know this great King, and you still go and do that double time for the Shabbat because you think you need that money so bad. But all the time while you're doing that work, while you're on the construction site, you're afraid because you know you're doing wrong. You know that you are not doing those things that are pleasing in the sight of the Most High.
That's right.
So when you're up on that scaffold and all that, you're like, man, Father, I hope I don't fall. I know I'm not supposed to be here. Right. So you're afraid now. If you feared that, if you feared the Most High, and you feared the things that He said, you wouldn't even go on Shabbat. I can't make it. I don't care how much you want to pay me. And that's the difference between being fearful of something and being afraid. When you're afraid, that means that's after that, after the fact. Right. You're just waiting for the hammer to drop. You know, because you don't know when and where the Most High is going to touch you, but you know that you haven't been doing the right things. Whether it be at work, whether it be at school, you know, you don't know. You say, man, when am I going to get that phone call home? I know I've been messing up in school.
Right.
When is my teacher going to finally find the time and call my Ima, call my Abba? And every time you go in the house, you like, look at that face like, your teacher called? Huh? Is there a note in the mailbox? Because you're afraid. You know you messed up.
Mailbox, huh?
You already did. Do y'all still get notes on?
Yeah.
Sheesh, but you know, it's a difference. So we got to keep that fear
That's right.
of the Most High. Keep that fear of our parents. Keep that fear of doing those things that we know are wrong. The presumptuous things that we know are wrong. We have to be fearful. And there ain't no little sins like, oh, that's just a little one. You know, I can get off with this one. I've been doing good so long. You know, it's not no such thing. There's no such thing. Once you get the time to conjure this up in your mind, you're dead wrong. It's dead wrong. That's like covetousness.
Right.
It's a sin because now you thinking about that chain. I'm thinking about it. And what come after thinking about it? Think about how to get it.
Right.
So that leads to my stealing. Then you want to fight me for your chain. I might have to hurt you. That's murder. Right. So all these things lead up to something. So if we just, you know, shake the thought.
Right.
Sing some Baruch Hashem's or something when that thought is in your head. Baruch Hashem. Right. You know, shake that thing. But we're going to try to get into this chapter here. They told me it's like one chapter, but when you get 57 verses, come on, y'all know I got 2 chapters. Y'all trying to sneak it off as one chapter. Y'all know that's 2 chapters. But we're gonna give God the glory.
Hallelujah.
Another thing about fear is the Most High has left all of this on record so that we can do these things, and we gotta do them our damnedest to the letter, you know, because a lot of people. There's many people who slack off on stuff. There's those who want to overdo stuff. And then you can break a law by overdoing it. You know? Most High put something on record and you like, man, I know God would like it if I just put a little more of this in there. You know, you trying to read God. Do what's right here before us. And that should be enough. But some of us try to overdo stuff and we break a law. We want to be overzealous. We want to be over holy. You know, I'm not speaking to him. I'm speaking to her.
Yeah.
You know? And you breaking laws. Right. So we're going into the book of Leviticus, chapter 25. We'll start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisrael, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Shabbat unto Yahweh. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the produce thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Shabbat of solemn rest for the land, a Shabbat unto Yahweh. Thou shalt neither sow thy field, nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth of itself of thy harvest thou shalt not reap. And the grapes of the undressed vine thou shalt not gather. It shall be a year of solemn rest for the land.
Okay. Again. Everything has to rest but the Most High.
Right.
The Most High left it on record in the beginning of Genesis. He said 6 days he worked, on the 7th he ceased.
Right.
And that wasn't because he needed rest,
Nope.
but the Father just showing us this is what you should do. You know, you have to rest your body. You got to rest your mind. You gotta, whatever that means. I don't know what it means. But you gotta breathe. And it takes time out to breathe, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell my grandson, I tell my children, you gotta take time to look back. You know, you going through it all 6 days. On the 7th day, you gotta say, how did this week go? How do I look this week? You know,
right.
Did I weigh it up? Did I do more good than bad? You know, because once you one of them people who work 7 days a week, you know, you can't say day number 1 no more. You going into 8, 9, 10. It just goes on. If you don't cease for a day, then you can come back and say, okay, day 1. You know, but people say, oh man, I worked 7 days this week. Now you're going into 8 days. Now you're burning yourself out.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the boss still going to require what he want done. You know, you can't say, come on, boss, I've been here 9 days. And he's paying you for 9 days.
Right.
So the Most High said, listen, no, let's not look at all this money and all this. Let's let the you rest, your land rest, your cattle rest, your car, just sit down. You know, I mean, you go where you have to go, whatever. But relax.
Relax.
Come shoot.
And the Shabbat produce of the land shall be for food for you, for thee and for thy servant and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant and for the settler by the side that sojourn with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in thy land, shall all the increase thereof be for food.
Okay, you're going to eat. What drops down, you can eat it, but all this sowing and pruning and going crazy, let that go.
That's right.
Most High is going to take care of you, you know, because some people, they just get all into this thing and, oh man, I need that money this year. This year I can't let that go to the ground. This year I got to get all of that. You know, I got something coming up and this is happening and I'm trying to buy this new property. You think all kind of things in your mind while you should gather in that extra stuff and work this and put a big fence around it, build a wall like Trump so none of the people can come in and eat. The cattle can't come in. But this is the law. This is what you required to do in the 7th year. Let them come on in. Let them eat something. You know, that's to your blessing. That's to your benefit. Come see.
And thou shalt number 7 Shabbatot of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and there shall be unto thee the days of 7 Shabbatot of years, even 49 years. Then shalt thou make proclamation with the blast of the horn on the 8th day of the 7th month. And the day of atonement shall ye make a proclamation with the horn throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
Okay, again, when we first got into our land, we started off with the first year. Everything was brand new. So we count the 7 Sabbaths. The 7 years, and we get a Sabbath year. And then we count the 7 times 7. So we coming down into a year of Jubilee.
Right.
Because none of this belongs to us, people. Everything belongs to Creator in heaven and earth. Right. You can get you some land and I can make it the Issachar ranch or whatever I want to do. But this is God's stuff. And Most High tell you how to treat his stuff. That's right. And because he's just letting you hold on to this. You know, when you go in the ground, that's not yours no more. Right. You pass it to your kids, but all this belongs to the Creator. Right. So he's giving us how he wants this done. And it says, number the 7 times 7. Right. He says, and then when it comes around to the 49th year, going into the 50th year, this is the blowing of the horn. This is the Jubilee year. Right. This is when people and property start going back to each other. That's right. I mean? You know, give your brother his stuff back. That's give him his property back. Get that back. Don't be like holding on to it. And, you got to hit reset. There you go. We starting all over fresh. That's right. Go on and handle your business. You know, and as Prince was saying earlier, we can't have the fear because we counting from year 1 we went into the land, and your brother come to you and he's all messed up. Yo, bro, I'm down and out. And you look on your calendar and say, this is the 47th year. This is year 47, getting ready to go into 48. And he's asking for a lot here, you know what I mean? He's really asking for a lot. He asking me to take over that big house he got and this and that and take care of his cattle and do all this. And he asking for money for that. And I know he can't pay this back in 2 years. So your mind start, yeah, man. When you supposed to say, all right, bro, I got you, man. Do as much as you can do. And Most High willing, you can come pretty much up to snuff or whatever. But, don't even let Jubilee come into there. I got to release this, man, in 2 years. And it's looking better and better. This stuff starting to look nice. But we can't think like that because all of us come to like hardships, down and outs. And when we start thinking like, oh, this is mine, I work hard for this, I ain't sharing that. We got to always think that today is me, tomorrow it can be you. That's right. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of people who figure maybe I never go through that. I never be broke. The Wesley Snipes and all them cats. But you forgot about the tax man.
Yeah.
You was making head over foot and over, however they say it. But you forgot that there was a tax man out there, and he want his. And when he come to you into the red foxes, y'all don't know red foxes. Huh? You a little before some of y'all time. But, he made millions and millions, had mansions. And then when the tax man come and say, hey, man, give me all of this.
Yeah, you owe us $3 million.
Yeah, we want all of this. And all the time while you partying and you sometimes you forget that main bill. You got plenty of money in your pocket. You're doing great, 2 jobs. And then you come outside and you got a boot on your car.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? You forgot about paying them tickets off. You forget about stuff. Now you got out there, you got to pay them, call them, get a number for the boot. You got to take the boot off. Yeah. You got to take the boot back in there.
Yeah.
Because you forgot. So we got to be mindful.
Crazy. Yeah.
You got to do that. Then you call them, they give you a comment, then boom, 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 you put it in.
Pull it up. Yeah.
Once you pay that money, first thing you got to do
is
bring that card out your pocket and give them those digits. And they say, okay, you good. Here's your combination. You take it off, go outside your car, you take their boot off, you take it down to wherever you got to take it.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Because you slipped. And we will slip. So we need each other to, to have each other back. Where we at, bro?
Verse 11. A jubilee shalt thou 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of the undressed vines. For it is a jubilee. It shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In this year of jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession. And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buy of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not wrong one another. According to the number of years after the jubilee thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according unto the number of years of the crops he shall sell unto thee. According to the multitude of the years thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of the years thou shalt diminish the price of it. For the number of crops doth he sell unto thee. And ye shall not wrong one another, but shall fear thy God. For I am Yahweh your God.
See that word again? Fear thy God. We're going to see that a lot through these books. But it's you got to fear God. You got to know that God is in charge of this.
Right.
You got to know when you're wheeling and dealing and you're trying to think of. It said, do not wrong your neighbor.
Right.
This is a person who came to you earnestly and said, listen, man, I'm in dire straits right now. I've just been overwhelmed with bills, this and that happened. You can't wrong your neighbor. You can't sit by the bus. Nah, I can't do that. When it's within you to do, you can't do that. So it says, and it's with just weight and just balance.
That's right.
You gotta weigh stuff up. If it's a lot of years left, you pay according to the years. A little bit, we gotta deal justly.
Right.
It says, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am Yahweh your God. Come see.
Verse 18. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep mine ordinances and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat until ye have enough, and dwell therein in safety. And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we may not sow nor gather nor increase. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth produce for the 3 years. And ye shall sow the 8th year and eat of the produce the old store. Until the 9th year, until her produce come in, ye shall eat the old store. And the land shall not be sold in perpetuity, for the land is mine. For you are strangers and settlers with me. And in the land of your possession ye shall grant a redemption for the land.
All right. Again, the Most High has to remind us.
Right.
He reminds us over and over because we all forgetful people. He says, ye shall, and the land shall not be sold in perpetuity.
Right.
For the land is mine. This is the Most High's land.
That's right.
He said the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The world and they who dwelled in it.
Amen.
All this belongs to the creator of heaven and earth. Again, we can't get that high on our horses that we forget where we got this from. And trust me, there are people who did it, people who done it, and people who are gonna do it. You're gonna work hard, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna put all this work in, and you're gonna sit back one day and say, look, I got me. Look what, 3 cars in the garage,
Mm-hmm.
this and that. I got acres and acres of land. And you're going to forget where you really came from. And we do it. So, and it says, wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them, and ye shall dwell in safety. As long as we stay in this book, people, as long as we stay bonded with this book and do the laws and the commandments and the ordinances of the Most High, because that is part of the contract.
Right.
That's part of the contract. So when we stop doing law and we stop doing all these things, it's called breach of contract. So anything that the Most High may have promised you is null and void.
That's right.
Because you're not doing his laws, his commandments, his statutes, and ye shall not dwell in the land in safety. I put the not in there. When you stop doing law and all of that, you ain't dwelling in safety. And when you're not dealing right with your brother and your sister, you're not dealing in safety. When we out here right now, and we like, yo, I'm for me, I'm for self, I'm for this. I ain't dealing with that congregation. I ain't dealing with this set of Israelites. When you start separating yourself, you become what they call a sitting duck. Now that you're separated, you can just be picked off. And I say it's hard to hit a moving target. And that's when we are together, when we are as a group, as a unit, and we moving together, doing what's right in the sight of the Most High. That's when we get the blessings. When you can sit down in conference with your brother and your sister,
Right.
and talk about a difference or a disagreement we may have. You know what I mean? We ain't supposed to be going to fisticuffs. We ain't supposed to, I'm not speaking to you, because nothing happens if you don't listen. A closed mouth don't get fed.
Teach us.
So if you don't start finding a way, you sit home, you say, listen, man, I got to talk to this brother about what's going on. I have to talk to this sister about what's going on. And find a way to strike the conversation. Send a note out or something. Listen, we need to talk. Get a mediator or something.
That's right.
Call somebody, yo, bro, I know me and you been cool for 20 years. I know you cool with old bro over there. I need a conversation. I need you to maybe go over there and try to, sit down so we can have a sit down. And that's what we got to do, a mediator. Come see.
Verse 25. If thy brother be waxen poor, and sell some of his possession, then shall his kinsman that is next unto him come, and shall redeem that which his brother hath sold. And if a man have no one to redeem it, and he be waxen rich, and find sufficient means to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, and he shall return unto his possession. But if he have not sufficient means to get it back for himself, then that which he hath sold shall remain in the hand of him that hath bought it until the year of Jubilee. And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession.
All right. Redemption of possessions. It says, if thy brother waxen poor, because there ain't going to be a time when there's no poor amongst us.
Right.
There's going to be a time when you up and your brother is down. There's going to be a time when you down and your brother is up.
That's right.
And, when you say, am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. So if I see something or I hear something, yo, bro, yeah, they taking everything from bro. I seen him going in his house and coming out with his TV, his couch, and like our brother used to say, Chris Report, and you getting ready to go on vacation. You've been planning this vacation for a long time, and you got stacks and stacks of money. You gotta think it through. You gotta think it through. Am I gonna go over here to Comcan and mess around and run on the beach and get all these drinks and sit by by the pool? And am I gonna do that? As I know while I'm sitting there, they putting the padlocks on my brother's door.
Right.
He's in the street. People are running back and forth, taking his TV. If you chase them, the other guy going that way with your couch. You can't catch everybody. So you got to think that through and say, man, that's all right. I'm going to go help him pay off whatever he got to pay off. Take the eviction notice off my brother's door. And you leave there broke with a happy heart. And it'll come back. Most High will make sure, but you can't see your brother waxing poor. And he's selling his possessions. He's selling all kind of stuff. And he going to the pawn shop with his jewelry, and you got plenty of money. You know, even if you know, just don't say, here, take care of that. All right, you gonna pawn that? Give me the chain. How much you need? 700. Here. When you come back with the 7, it's yours. Ain't no pawn shop interest. Can't put none of that on you. I'll hold your chain. I'm not gonna wear your chain to the club because I might get robbed.
Right.
I'll put yours in the safe right here. And when you come back for it, you come back for it. Or if your son or somebody can redeem it, they can come back and say, oh, yeah, man, I want my Albert's chain.
Right.
And no problem. There you go. We count you.
And if a man sell a dwelling house in the walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold. For a full year shall he have the right of redemption. And if he be not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be made sure in perpetuity to him that bought it throughout his generations. It shall not go out in the Jubilee. But the houses of the villages which have no wall around about them shall be reckoned with the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee. But as for the cities of the Levites, the houses of the cities of their possessions, the Levites shall have a perpetual right of redemption. And if a man purchase of the Levites, then the house that was sold in the city of his possession shall go out in the Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel. But the fields of the open land about their cities may not be sold, for that is their perpetual possession.
Okay, now we're talking about the redemption of dwelling houses.
Mm-hmm.
So the book here clearly says, if it's in the city, it's a walled city, you got 1 year when you
Right.
can come back and claim your property.
That's right.
It's not the same as with the Jubilee. You know, you can't get, after a year, you can't get that back.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, but the houses in the open fields, those you can redeem back. That land, that is Issachar land there,
Right.
you can redeem back, or if you can't redeem it, and the 50th year, you get it back in the Jubilee. But not so with the Levites. Because the Levites are positioned to the Most High. The Levites have a job, and they don't have a portion as we have portions. So that what's theirs is theirs. Come see.
Verse 35. And if thy brother be waxing poor and his means fail with thee, then thou shalt uphold him. As a stranger and a settler shall he live with thee. Take thou no interest of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon interest, nor give him thy victuals for increase. I am Yahweh your God, who brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, to be your God.
I'm the great king who brought y'all up out of the bondage y'all was in.
Right.
So to give you this land. So again it says, I am Yahweh your God. He said, no. It say, take thou no interest that thy brother may live with thee. Again, right. I just finished talking about it, but we got to reiterate this stuff. No interest from your brother. No interest, like, I'm giving you this, but you got to give me back that plus this.
No.
We cannot do that to our brothers.
Right.
To a foreigner, it's another story.
Right.
He said, thou shalt not give him money upon interest, nor give him thy victuals for increase. You can't give him this and say, all right, look, I'm giving you this, you go out and sell it, and you bring me back this plus that victuals, or I'm going to feed you, and you owe me $10. We can't do this with our brother.
That's right. And if thy brother be waxing poor with thee, and sell himself unto thee, thou shalt not make him to serve as a bondservant. As a hired servant and as a settler he shall be with thee. He shall serve with thee unto the year of Jubilee. Then shall he go out from thee, he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his father shall he return. But they are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy God. And as for thy bondmen and thy bondmaids whom thou mayest have of the nations that are round about you.
All right, first of all, it's treatment of servants, treatment of those who are in your possession right now. With our brothers and sisters, you can't treat them like you treat them other nation people. You can't rule them with rigor.
That's
you
right.
can't, put the whip to their back. None of that stuff. You gotta treat them still as a brother and sister, but
a hired servant.
A hired servant.
That's it.
You
give them a job.
Do this work, like they say, a day's work for a day's pay.
There you go.
I ain't gonna give you a whole bunch of work and a little bit of money.
Right.
We're gonna do this again with the just weight and the just balance. And that's how you gotta treat your brother, because when Jubilee come, hey, Shalom, it was nice working with you, man. I had a pleasure. You know you going back to your possessions. You know, I might not see you as often, but you know, we had a good time. We laughed. Hey, take your family, take them little bad kids with you. You ain't leaving them here. So I might be back for them. No, take them bad kids with you. and him and his family go on about their business and start their fresh life.
Right.
But, okay, this is 44.
Of the nations that are round about you, of them ye shall buy, of the nations that are round about you, of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, 45, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them may ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they have begotten in your land, and they may be your possession. And you may make them inheritance for your children after you. To hold for possession of them may ye take your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor.
Okay, from the nations, if they fall short or they become our servant, we can treat them. I mean, you're not even your slave. You treat bad because you want them working for you. But it's a difference on how they get treated and how our brothers and sisters get treated. And ain't no release for them. Mm-hmm. If they under my possession, they mine.
Right. When
I wax old or pass away, they become my sons.
That's right.
My son inherit my servants.
That's right.
So my son could be 21, and that servant that been with me is 75. He's my son's servant.
There you go.
And that's how we treat. That's how we move with them, and they just become servants.
Mm-hmm.
But with our brothers and sisters, it says, but moreover, thy brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. We can't treat our old people bad. Right. I don't care what you got against them, or I never really liked this Judite anyway. You know, I'm just trying to figure out a tribe that wasn't in here, but you know. And now he done fell under hard times, and he coming crawling to me talking about, Prince, I need this and I need that. Yeah? All right. And then now you thinking of all kind of ways you can do this guy dirty, but that's your brother. He's an Israelite. He's like unto you. He served the same God.
That's right.
He just fell under hard times, you know, and whatever differences y'all had, you can't rule over him with rigor like that. You can't treat your brother or your sister that way. Come see.
47. And if a stranger who is a settler with thee be waxen rich, and thy brother be waxen poor beside him, and sell himself unto the stranger who is a settler with thee, or to the offshoot of a stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed. One of his brethren may redeem him, or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him. Or if he be waxen rich, he may redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he sold himself to him unto the year of Jubilee. And the price of his sale shall be according unto the number of years. According to the time of a hired servant shall he be with him. If there be yet many years, according unto them he shall give back the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. And if there remain but few years unto the year of Jubilee, then he shall reckon with him, according unto his years shall he give back the price of his redemption. As a servant hired year by year shall he be with him. He shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight. And if he be not redeemed by any of these means, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, he and his children with him. For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh, your God.
Again, I mean, and the Most High just reiterating this and reiterating it, because the more we hear stuff, is the more we forget it. So he's saying, Israel is my servant.
Right.
That's my servant. So if you do that servant bad, you got problems with me.
That's right.
It's not your servant. And it says we don't rule with rigor. And if one of the other nations, one of the strangers, happen to, nobody's around right now, so the Israelite brother got to sell himself to a servant. I mean, to a stranger. When you hear about this, or when one of his family members here, it's your job to say, "Yo, come here, give me my brother. How much he owe you?"
Right.
Here, hold that. Take him away from the nations. I mean, if you could bail your brother out, listen, man. I'm gonna bail you out, man. We're gonna redeem you. I ain't gonna let you sit up in that prison, man, because
Exactly.
come on out and you fight your case, bro. But this is what we have to do as Israel. All right, finish it out.
Chapter 26. Ye shall make you no idols, neither shall ye rear you up a graven image or a pillar, neither shall ye place any figure stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am Yahweh your God. Ye shall keep my Shabbat and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, again, now, Most High reiterates this. He said, ye shall keep my Shabbatos and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh. He put the stamp on there. I'm not finished. What happened, man? It's the movies or something, man. Y'all just get up and walk out like that, man. Huh? All right, well. And it says, ye shall make you no idols, neither shall ye rear ye up a graven image or a pillar, neither shall ye place any figured stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am Yahweh your God. And again, the Most High knows our hearts. He knows the things we do. He knows that we start off with this little thing or this little shrine and we say, oh, I'm not worshiping this. I'm just, but then when you wash your car this time and you wash it and, hey, don't sit on that car. I mean, you get a little sense of worship, and then we have to be careful with that. Certain things that we buy and purchase, and
that's right.
These idols and images, and and closing out, I just like to talk about a little thing that it comes around every so many years, and I'm not gonna call it a complaint, but people just have their thoughts about Israel and about leadership. So, first of all, I want to go to 1 Samuel 8. Verse 4.
We're in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 8, starting from verse 4. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel unto Ramah. And they said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king that judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel, when they said, Give us a king that judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh, and Yahweh said unto Samuel.
All right. Now, as back then, as we are now, we know, or we should know, that there's only one leader, there's only one king. It's the creator of heaven and earth. But we always find ourselves where we want a leader, we want a king, we want somebody, we want a chief prince. We need somebody to point the finger at. Because, we ain't a perfect people. Right. And if we know from Moshe, when you say leadership, how can you lead an unleadable people?
A stiff-necked, rebellious
people. A stiff-necked people. How can you say, oh, I'm the leader, but it's an unleadable people. We work better when we just go into the book, we do what is told of us by the Most High, and we try to do what's right together as a unit. And that's how we get the attention of the Most High. Right. When he see a unit working together, young and old, not the young sitting there saying, this guy, because anybody can run the ship. You ain't got to say, he ain't over 50, he can't be the leader. But it's a thing with the leadership now, then. Unless you got something wrong with you or something, or you're kind of crazy, nobody really wants these jobs.
That's a fact.
Nobody wants these jobs. This job is like when I seen a movie on TV, when we all standing in a line, and the general come out and say, whoever want to run this troop, step forward. And everybody step back, and you standing there like this. and now all of a sudden you got the job. You didn't step forward, they step back. And now you became the leader. You ain't want it, but you know, sometimes you say, okay, maybe the Most High put me here for a reason. Now you got to find his reason now. You got to try to work with people. And then, you know, leadership is more like politics. You know what I mean? Leadership is like politics. Leadership, you know, you put somebody in, whether you vote them in or the board votes you in, however that is, they vote you in. But then, as Obama said on the radio station, he was like, listen, he said people ask me, you know, yeah, you see what's happening in Brooklyn, you see what's happening here in Chicago, but he said I'm the leader of the whole United States. You know, I'm part of the free world. I can't be at all of these places, you know, and like I learned dealing with the people here in New York. You got steps and stages. You know what I mean? I can't go to Obama about what's going on in my community. You got community boards. You got senators. You got council people. You have all these people, the mayor. You have all these people who you can really voice your opinion, and they can come out and help you. But we busy, you know, talking about, oh, the president ain't doing nothing for over here. Look at Biden. I ain't see more than Ukraine. I don't even know if they sent the vote over there to Ukraine. But when Biden did, he's sitting there, he done made all these promises. He's sending $32 billion over there.
Yeah.
And over here,
Stop.
the gas prices going up. I seen yesterday morning on the news, a lady, she's like, look, I can't find formula for my baby nowhere. Look, the shelves are empty. The shelves are empty here. The gas price, and when you got to make the decision whether I get gas or I pay for this overpriced food or whether I do this, and people were coming, you know, to where you call your little country, and they getting it all. They coming through the gate and they go check, get off the plane, and get some money, and you sitting there. I've been here all my life, starving. But it's all in the leadership.
That's right.
Or lack of leadership, you know. So, I mean, I just say that to say this because, you know, I mean, we spread over here, North Carolina, Virginia, all of that. You know, us brothers may talk, but when the youth, we need y'all to be involved too. You need certain meetings. Come on in, voice your opinion.
That's facts.
And that's just what I want to say about that. But with all that, I hope and I pray that you got something out of this. And yeah, you go.